Bro, where are you from?
Huh?
Where are you from, bro?
أنا من سوريا. You?
Bro, Syria, there is Israel flag.
Where?
Back.
Where? Behind me? This beautiful thing?
Oğlum senin ben var ya.
I don't understand. I don't understand. I only speak Arabic, English, or Hebrew. Your choice.
English. What's that flag there?
The Israeli flag. It's a beautiful flag. I'm Jewish.
Tövbe estağfurullah.
Astaghfirullah. Astaghfirullah. You want to say it right next time? Astaghfirullah. Alhamdulillah.
Are you live? Are you live?
I am. Say hi to me.
Fuck the people that are watching you.
Whoa.
That are Jewish.
Why are you so upset that we have an Israel and you don't have a Palestine? Does that make you upset?
Bro, wait. Do you support Israel?
Huh?
Do you support Israel?
Of course I support Israel.
Why?
Because it's the Jewish homeland. It's our country and it exists, whether you like it or not.
But they are killing babies.
Name me one baby that died. You seem to care about the children of Gaza and the babies in Gaza, or are you just utilizing them as a prop to attack Israel, which is disgusting? I'm not saying babies and children didn't die, but if you care so much, then you can name me one child that died in Gaza. Can you name him?
Bro, I don't know.
No, because you don't care about the children in Gaza. You just like that phrase and you think I'm going to jump and say, no, Israel doesn't kill babies. Because that's the truth. They don't.
They kill babies.
You can't even name one. You can't even name one. You are stating that Israel kills intentionally babies. Intentionally.
Yes,
now,
that's true.
Time out. You can't name one child. You haven't taken the time to look into this, to research.
Bro, they don't check their names.
They don't check their names? I'll tell you the name. I'll tell you of a name of a child in Gaza that died.
What?
I know a name of children in Gaza that died. Why don't you, Mr. I care about the children in Gaza? I mean, Israel. Honestly,
fuck Israel.
How do you feel?
Free Palestine.
How do you feel? Run away like the rest of them. Run away because you guys are cowards. But how do you feel about trading on the blood of children in Gaza? Don't you feel disgusting?
Trading?
Yeah, you're using it. You're making it cheap, and it's wrong, and it's gross. You're using the blood of children to attack Israel. You don't care about the children. If you cared about the children, you would stand against the terrorist organization that has controlled every piece of infrastructure in Gaza and has wrecked their lives over the past 25 years, has offered no opportunities over the last 25 years, has made the parents convinced that the dream is their son dies as a martyr. If you cared about the future of the children and the babies in Gaza, you would stand against Hamas and for Israel. When was the last time you stood against Hamas? I know you guys are retarded. You don't have the brain capacities. I get it.
Bro, but they are killing so many people.
Hamas, I understand. That's how the war started. Why would you start a war against a country that you know you can't beat?
Israel. Wait, Israel.
No. Hamas started the war on October 7. Do you not know what happened on October 7?
How they started?
Hamas and other innocent civilians from Gaza broke into Israel. They murdered 1,200 civilians. They went into kibbutzim, into communities. They killed families whole. They raped women, and they kidnapped 250 individuals into Gaza. That's how they started the war. Now, why is it that Arabs aren't men enough to finish what they start? Why do they start crying, begging the world for mercy after they acted and after they started a war? Why can't they be men? I thought Arabs are men.
Why?
They're gonna fight.
Why are you guys?
They ran under the tunnels.
Why are you guys killing people that do nothing?
What?
The kids, the babies.
What?
Why do you guys kill?
We don't. It's because Hamas hides in the tunnels under the children. They utilize them as human shields. You can Google right now, right this second. You can Google it. I'm not making it up.
There are videos.
Bro, you're not seeing the other side of this. Do you want me to show you what you're not seeing because you're following the propaganda? Let me show you. Hamas launches rocket from refugee camp. I want you to tell me how that's okay. Hamas has documented itself. This is AI, bro. This is not me. Hamas has documented itself to intentionally, I can't see, and other munitions from densely populated areas. Here, I want you to read it. Hamas has documented itself of launching rockets and other munitions from densely populated civilian neighborhoods. You know why? Because they know Israel's
Why?
going to have to respond. And when Israel responds, guess who's going to die? The people, the innocent bystanders. But what do you want Israel to do? If I take a rocket launcher and I go in the middle of the town and I start shooting rockets at your civilians, are you not going to respond? Because you may kill my family? You're going to respond. If I start shooting, God forbid, at you and your family, and I'm standing in front of my family,
Bro,
are you going to
you're right
shoot
at that
back?
point, but why are you guys don't stop it?
It stopped.
It's enough. It's enough.
It stopped. You know when it stopped?
No, they're
No, you're wrong. The war daily combat in Gaza has stopped. There, Hamas is shooting, breaching the ceasefire, and Israel has responded. This happened maybe 10 times in the last month. When the hostages came back, which is what we were saying all along, there was a ceasefire. The war, the daily
okay.
fighting stopped.
Can you show me a video where the president said the war is stopped?
Yeah,
Show me, please.
yeah. Hamas, which president? I mean,
Uh,
nobody says the war
um,
stopped. I can tell you there's a ceasefire that went into effect. President Trump.
no, show me a video that your Netanyahu said the war is stopped.
Okay, 1 minute.
אזרחי ישראל, אחיי ואחיותיי, זהו ערב מרגש.
I don't understand.
Okay, bro, I don't know what you want me to do. They're in Israel. He speaks Hebrew. Go look it up. He accepted the ceasefire. He signed it. He had to sign it to
Wait,
accept it.
my friend said something. Wait. Hmm. Okay, you said that the war is stopped, right?
The daily war has stopped. Gaza, Hamas has violated the ceasefire since it entered into it in October, and Israel has responded. So if you looked yesterday, and you can Google this right now, so it's easy, so we don't have to talk about a lot of things, but we can go into the back into the in the past. But if you look yesterday, Hamas crossed the yellow line, which was agreed to in the ceasefire, and went to shoot the IDF. What did Israel do? It attacked Hamas assets and killed Hamas leadership. And then Hamas said Israel violated the ceasefire, and Israel said Hamas violated the ceasefire. But it's one on one attack. It's not a constant war. The constant war, the constant bombardments ended. And I actually do speak with people in Gaza, and I try to help people in Gaza. And if you go on my Instagram, you'll see the conversations that I had with
I don't
people
know your
from Dar al
Instagram.
Balla.
I don't know your Instagram.
I got you, but talk to me. I mean, what's the
Bro, but
question?
okay, it stopped, right?
Yes.
In Gaza. But what if Israel's who's later? The president. What if he throws a bomb
Why?
in
Why? Why?
Gaza?
Why would he do
How?
that?
I don't know.
I'm
But what
asking
if
you
he? What
logically.
if
Well,
he
time
did?
out. Logically,
How would you react about it?
where did he? I mean, it's a real question. Why?
No,
Why is he
if he
doing
do
that?
that right now,
If he threw a
I don't
bomb for
know.
no reason, just because he wanted to have
Yeah,
fun, and he
yeah,
just went and
yeah,
threw it and blew up a bunch of people, I'd say it's
yeah,
fucked up. I would have enough moral courage to say I stand against it.
yeah.
Yeah. But that's not happening. And
Wait.
there's no reason.
So,
You're gonna tell me that yesterday they blew. I explained to you that they did that.
no, no. My friend
Oh,
is talking. Wait.
I know what your friend wants to say.
My friend said, "How do you get in contact with the people in Gaza, and what do they think about
Absolutely.
you?"
We don't agree 100% on everything. I got into contact with them because one person that I know was speaking to a man from Derbale who needed medical help. He does daily dialysis on his kidneys. He's sick and he also needs food for himself and his family. So my contact to them was to determine two things. Can we get this guy help as a human being, first and foremost? And number two, what's going on with the food situation? Because everybody's saying there's no food, there's no food, there's no food. Fine. So I spoke to this individual and I learned what was happening, what was blocking the food. What happened and what many people don't know, I didn't know until I spoke to this Gazan person, is before Hamas even launched the war against Israel on October 7th, they released the criminals from jail. They released all the criminals from Gaza jail because remember, they control the entire Gazan government. So eventually the war happened XYZ. The criminals, not only Hamas, the criminals made gangs with each other. And Hamas has gangs as well. So what they started doing, and you can look this up on Google, according to the UN, how many of their aid trucks were robbed by Hamas? The UN has admitted, I think 90% of their aid trucks are robbed by Hamas and other armed factions. Who are the other armed factions? The gangs that became gangs because Hamas let all the criminals out. These people would go, they would steal the food, the good food, the flour, the sugar, the chocolate, and they would sell it at exuberant rates. They would sell it for a shit ton of money. Why? So they can buy more weapons, so they can continue funding their war. Think about everything. And this is, I speak to this person. He told me in Arabic. I asked him, do you want Hamas to remain in power? He said, I'd rather cut off my finger than allow Hamas to remain in power. And he's not wrong. I mean, he doesn't love Israel. I'm not saying he loves Israel because he doesn't. But he hates Hamas because he understands that they started a war they couldn't win. They are counting on good people like you, seeing children and saying, oh, look how many children are dead. Look how many innocent civilians are dead because they're hiding within the people. And they spent the billions of dollars that went into Gaza over the last 25 years on building tunnels under schools, under mosques, not on building hotels or building businesses or helping the public, building social services. They just stockpiled weapons to fight Israel. Mshan, this is what their charter said. They want to extinguish Israel. You can't. Listen, I'm a Syrian guy, okay? I know what beef is, right? Like, I'm not going to pretend I don't. If I want to say I want to resist you, and I know I can't beat you, and I still fight you, I'm crazy. I'm a Majnoon. I've lost my mind. I'm a suicidal individual at this point. And that's exactly what Hamas is. A lot of people say, no, they're resistance. Resistance of what? They can't resist a rubber band. What are they resisting? They got Gaza destroyed. They've never started a war that they won since they took over in 2006. So the guy in Gaza hates Hamas, but he doesn't love Israel, which is understandable to me. Hamas has been teaching him all the bullshit about Israel for the last 25 years. So I don't hate him and I don't see him as non-human because he doesn't agree with everything Israel does. I understand this man has been brainwashed. So let me help him and let me show him that Israelis are good. Do you know, I'm going to give you this one fact and you can ask your friend. Do you know that there was a woman, and many people in Gaza, in Israel actually, in the south, that used to drive to the border of Gaza every Saturday, and you can look this up, to pick up Gazan children from Gaza and take them to a hospital in Israel for treatment, and then they would bring them back. Do you know that that woman was kidnapped into Gaza? They didn't spare her. They didn't spare her family. They shot them dead. People were helping the Gazan children. Every Saturday she would take them in.
My friend said prove it.
No problem, I will. Give me a minute. Hamas killed 6 of them. Road for Recovery program launched in 2010 with donations by Leonard Cohen now concentrates on bringing West Bank Palestinians to Israeli medical centers. Give me a minute. I'm going to go down more. Before October 7th, this place was always thick, crowded. Okay, Khan is a volunteer. Vivian Silver is her name. The ranks of the volunteers were 6 volunteers. Vivian Silver, Eli Orgad, Adi Dagan, Tammy Schumann, Chaim Kasman, and Chaim Perry were murdered in the Hamas invasion, which saw some 1,200 people in southern Israel slaughtered and 251 kidnapped to Gaza. Look up their names. Look up Vivian Silver. You have Google, and you'll see everything you need to know about her. I'll look her up and see Vivian, so I can see her. Silver transporting kids to hospital from Gaza. $972. Here is AI, brother. Can you read this or no?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Did I prove it?
Yes. My friend wants to say one more thing. So
Al-Ayani.
bro, how you want me to say that? My English is not so good.
You did good. Tell him. Your English was fine, brother.
No, he said Hamas started the war to Israel. What? That can't beat Israel, huh? Uh, okay, so oh, wait, type it to me, type it. He says so much things. All,
Listen, tell him
wait,
to
wait.
jump on. Put him on speaker.
Tips now. Wait. He's typing. Wait.
Take your time, brother. You gave me your time. I give you my time.
Bro, hurry up. When Hamas. Wait, is that? When Hamas started a war to Israel, why is Israel asking for weapons or rockets to kill the innocent people in Hamas when they have no weapons like Israel?
This isn't.
He says.
This is with all due respect, and I don't know your friend, but it's not a real question. If I Hamas doesn't get to tell Israel what weapons they can use to fight against them. The easy answer is why start a war that you know that you can't win? As Hamas, why are you fighting with a country that you know has more advanced weapons than you? Israel is going to use its advanced
He says,
weapons.
but why are you guys
1 minute.
using?
Israel is going to use its advanced weapons because at the end of the day, our soldiers' lives matter too. They're 18-year-old, 19-year-old kids. Why is Israel going to risk a whole platoon to send them to Gaza that is boogie trapped, that Israel hasn't been in God knows how many? Most of the buildings destroyed, and you can look that up. Most of the buildings destroyed in Gaza were destroyed because they were booby trapped by Hamas, so they can explode when Israel enters. So why would they risk their soldiers and not do what they're doing? What does Israel do? If they identify a building they're going to bomb, and this is all Googleable, I can prove it to you as well. They make phone calls to all the residents, the civilians that live there, and they say, "Hi, we're going to be bombing this area tomorrow. Get the hell out of this area." They drop leaflets, notes from airplanes that say, "We're going to bomb this area. Leave." And this is a day before they bomb. Why do you think you have such great footage all the times of the bombings? Because Israel tells them where they're going to bomb before they even bomb. So they're standing there with the camera waiting for the bomb to fall. At the end of the day, Israel doesn't have to risk its soldiers' lives. They need to do whatever is militarily, strategically right, while taking into consideration civilian casualties. Now, the reason I asked you the question in the beginning of this is name me one shot, is because nobody looks at ratios. In war, in an urban modern warfare, you can look this up, you can Google it. The ratio is if you kill one civilian, that's the standard. One combatant, one terrorist, one military combatant for every 9 civilians in urban modern warfare. That's the standard ratio. Israel is one combatant for 2 civilians. They are so far under the standard that they're setting a new standard in urban modern warfare. Like, think about it. If you're telling me there's millions of people that live in this little Gaza, tiny, small, thin land, they'd be more than 60,000 dead in 2 years if Israel was really genocidal. In 3 seconds, they can destroy Gaza. But they're not doing that.
My friend said they did it.
They didn't though. The only can you explain? You understand what I'm saying? No, like think about it. Use the logic. If I have all the weapons in the world and I want to genocide Gaza, I want to kill everybody in Gaza. Why would it take Israel more than 30 minutes to do it? Who's standing in their way?
Nobody.
Right. So why didn't they do it? Why is it taking 2 years? 2 years with all these superior weapons. Why? Because they can't. They can't just kill civilians. They're doing everything to minimize civilians and civilian casualties. And Hamas is doing everything to endanger civilian and civilian casualties. That's why this war is taking so long. And the more good-hearted people stand and start believing the propaganda and the bullshit that Hamas is pushing, the further away from peace. If you guys remember this, and you can look this up in the news, before this ceasefire deal that Hamas and Israel both accepted and we entered a ceasefire, there were so many that were almost there. Why did Hamas pull out the last minute? They saw positive PR around the world. They saw France say, you know what, we're going to recognize a Palestinian state. Hamas says this shit's working. Back up, no peace, no deal. What do they care? They're sitting in Qatar. They're enjoying billions of dollars. They have a shit. You saw the guy. Did you see the guy Hania's hotel bill from Qatar?
No.
Multi-million dollars for one night with his hookers. It leaked everywhere. You can Google it. While he's crying starvation in Gaza. On October 7th, all these assholes in Qatar from Hamas, they all started praying and praising and cheering. If they're so strong and they really believe in it, go to Gaza and fight. Why are you sitting at Hamas while you understand that you guys just started a war that's going to destroy the Gazan people, that's going to hurt the Gazan population? Israel doesn't have to sit back. At the end of the day, bro, and this was the question I asked you first, right? And you can ask your friend this question also. If I shoot at you and your family, and I stand in front of my family, will you wait for me to kill your entire family, or will you shoot back even if it means you're going to kill my innocent family standing in front of me?
He says, I kill you, but not your family.
Yeah, it's not your choice. Are you going to shoot? But understand that if you're shooting at me and I'm standing in front of my family, you're probably going to hit my family. So are you going to shoot, or are you going to feel too bad and wait until your family's wiped out? That's your choice. So when Hamas puts a rocket in middle of a refugee camp and shoots it, the choice Israel has is, do we destroy that rocket and the terrorists shooting it, or do we wait until they just continue shooting it at Israel and do nothing? Because they're hiding around civilians. Like, it's not a real standard. Nobody would do that. No country would be like, oh, okay. What do you feel, brother? Forget your friend for a minute.
Well, no, he's asking for your Instagram.
Follow me, bro. Anytime, brother. Here, I'm gonna put it there for you
Oh,
guys. And just so you know, I'll tell you something really cool about us. I came out of
yes.
Syria in 1994. Okay,
But you're originally from
Syria,
Syria.
Damascus. That's why I speak
Can
Arabic.
I ask you one thing?
Yeah,
Why are you supporting Israel? Why?
because a million Jews, if you didn't know, were ethnically cleansed from Arab countries. The majority of the Jews that live in Israel are those Jews that
You
were.
you you like Hitler?
No, why the fuck would I like Hitler? He's a loser. I don't like
Okay,
losers. And he's evil. I mean, why would I like him? He's an evil man. Do you know that Hitler worked with the Palestinians?
why? My friend said, why is he evil?
Why? Because he wrecked his own country, wrecked and killed millions and millions of people, and specifically killed 6 million Jews. But that's not the least of it. He also killed gypsies. He also killed a shit ton of other people. So that's, to me, that's evil. That's an evil man. Stalin was also evil, and he's a loser. He believed that the white race was supreme to all, and I don't agree with him on that at all. I don't believe in supremacy.
At this point, he agrees with you.
Okay. But do you know it's funny that you brought up Hitler, and does your friend know this? Okay. The Grand Mufti of Jerusalem, he was the godfather of Palestinian ideology. Okay, you're listening, brother?
Yeah, he's listening. Me too.
So the Grand Mufti of Jerusalem, the godfather of Palestinian ideology in the 1930s, tried to also revolt against the British in Jerusalem. The British, who owned, right, the British Mandate of Palestine, it wasn't an actual Palestine. The British kicked out the Grand Mufti from Jerusalem into Iraq. In Iraq, this Grand Mufti, the reason they kicked him out is because he was hanging out with your boy, Hitler, Yamach Shemo v'zichro. Grand Mufti of Palestine in the 30s was hanging out with Hitler. He gets kicked out of Jerusalem. He goes to Iraq. He works with the Nazis. In 1941, this is before Israel was even created. In 1941, he works with the Nazis, takes out the current Iraqi prime minister, does something called the Golden Square coup, which is the Nazis and him, and they put in a new prime minister, and his name was Ali Rashid. And Baghdad, Iraq, Baghdad, used to be 35% Jewish. 150,000 Jews were ethnically cleansed because Ali Rashid decided to do a farhud, where the neighbors that lived next to the Jews came out and idbah al-Yahud, and let's slaughter the Jews and let's kill the Jews. 1941, 150,000 Jewish people. Do you know where the majority of them went? Israel, bro. They're the Israelis that you're talking about. And one of them in particular, Shlomo Mansour is his name, was displaced from Iraq because of the Grand Mufti and Hitler, went to Israel, and in Israel he was kidnapped by Hamas and murdered in Gaza. Where do they want him? Where do the Palestinians want this Jew? So that's why I support Israel, because I know what this is about. It's not about land. It's about they don't like us. They don't want a Jewish state. They don't want Jews in existence. They displaced Shlomo Mansour from Iraq. He went to Israel. Then they kidnapped him in Israel and murdered him in Gaza because he shouldn't be in Israel and he shouldn't be in Iraq. Then where should he be? And Hitler doesn't think we belong in Germany or in Europe. So where do the Jews belong? We have one homeland, and that's Israel. Brother, I'm going to ask you and your friend a question because you guys look like good people. Do you know there's 15 million Jews in the entire world? 1 5.
My friend says there are some Jewish people that say free Palestine. What are you thinking about it?
There's some, sure, of course there are, but they're a very small minority. They're under 5% of the Jewish population. If you look this up, close to 95% of Jews support Israel, 100% are Zionists. I mean, there's some people who are Muslim and gay. If you ask a Muslim what they think about that, they say that person should be thrown off a building. People are people, bro. Not everybody can be the same.
He asks, "Are you Christian or Muslim?" But I think
I'm Jewish
Christian, Jewish.
from Syria. I know. That's what I said. You guys didn't know, but 850,000 to 1 million Jews were displaced, ethnically cleansed from Arab countries. The majority of those people are in Israel. They've had kids and grandkids and married the Ashkenaz and married whatever. And we're all one people. The majority of us we're all from the region. At the end of the day, Syria, did you guys know that Syria, Lebanon, Iraq, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, all these became countries at the same time Israel became a country? Did you guys know that?
I didn't know that.
They all became countries. So why can't the Jews have one small piece of land? The Arabs got everything. Fine. The Jews were there before the Islamic colonization. That's why they're in the book of, if you read the Quran, you read about Khaybar and the Battle of Khaybar, which proves the Jews were there, right? Fine. We're sharing the land. You guys got 15 states. There's 22 Arab countries. It's one small Jewish state. It's tiny, Israel. Why can't we have it? What's the big deal? I don't understand the issue. There was never a Palestine. That country never really existed. I can prove that to you. From their coin, I can show you the Hebrew that's written on it, or they'll show you the airplane that says Palestine Airway. It's written in Hebrew under it. At the end of the day, a lot of Jews consider themselves Palestinian because they were born in that region called Palestina, Syria, Palestina, by the Romans. The Ottoman Empire held the region. The Ottoman Empire fell in 1917. When the Ottoman Empire fell, all these states, all these countries, all these lands were open. So France and Britain took mandates over Israel, over Syria. The France occupied Syria for a very long time, right? All these countries took mandates in these lands, and eventually they pulled out of the mandates and they created states. Jordan was supposed to be Arab Palestine, according to the Balfour Declaration. But the British broke their promise to the Hashemites from Saudi Arabia. They told the Hashemites that they will let them rule Saudi Arabia. But instead, the British put in the House of Saud to rule over Saudi Arabia. They took the Hashemite as an apology. They gave them Jordan. The king of Jordan is not Palestinian. The king of Jordan is from Saudi Arabia. Britain gave him Jordan as an I'm sorry. And then they look at Israel and say, okay, guys, how about we break this land up into two? One for Arabs, one for Jews. And Israel said yes in 1948. The Arabs said no and launched a war. So Israel was created, Palestine never was. And Abbas himself, from his mouth, said, are you going to hold this mistake against us our whole lives? Yeah, that's life. People tell me, why don't you just go back to 1967? Give them the West Bank. Give them East Jerusalem. Why should I? I mean, a lot of people in Israel will say give it back to them. I personally, I'm against it. If you come to my casino and you gamble, you put $100,000 down and you lose, bye-bye. You can't start blowing me up saying I'm occupying your money. Don't gamble. They went to war. When Jordan, who occupied the West Bank at the time, decided to enter the war in 1967 against Israel, and they lost their land, thank you, bye-bye. This is life. If they destroyed Israel, you think they would have given it back? So it's nonsensical.
He says because of the Israel, they're gonna start World War III.
I don't think so. You want to know where I think is what's going to happen? I think that the United States, the UAE, Saudi Arabia, and a lot of different Arab countries are going to, with Israel, are going to take control of Gaza personally and try to fix it before handing it over to any government. I think there's going to be peace because Hezbollah is dying out, and I watch a lot of Arabic TV. So if you know the beat on the street in Lebanon, half the population wants to make peace with Israel, half the population wants Hezbollah. But the president, the prime minister, and a lot of the commentators now are pushing to get rid of Hezbollah. They no longer want to fight with Israel, which is smart. Why the hell does the Lebanese have to fight with the Israeli? Or the Syria have to fight with Israel? They're all looking to make peace. What I think is going to happen is if the Palestinian people don't want to give up Hamas and they don't want to give up jihad and all this crazy shit that they're doing, the terrorism, I think the Arab countries are going to leave them behind and their movement is no longer going to exist, personally. And there's going to be peace between Arabs and Jews, regardless, because at the end of the day, we need to make peace. This is the dumbest fights in the world. Like, listen, bro, we lived together forever in the Middle East. Sure, we had a lot of bad times, but we had a lot of good times also. If we make peace, if Israel makes peace with Syria and with Lebanon, those economies are going to rise. The region is going to be better off. The people that live there are going to be better off. I went to East Jerusalem, and I can show you this. East Jerusalem, I went to the Arab neighborhood in Jerusalem, and I spoke to an Arab shop owner. I asked him in Arabic, I said, Habibi, إذا اليوم بقدر أساويها فلسطين, if today I can make this land Palestine, and you no longer live under Israel occupation, are you happy? He almost smacked me in the face. Because at the end of the day, he looked at me, he told me, Habibi, listen and answer me this question. In Jordan, in Syria, and Lebanon, how is the majority of the population living? What about in Egypt? How is the employment in these countries? Are the majority of the population having health care and employment and civil rights? No. Go look at Jordan. There was a couple years in Egypt a couple years ago. They had a revolution because people were starving. They didn't have enough money to eat. He goes, the Arabs in Israel have full civil rights. They can vote. They can go march in the street and protest for Palestine in Israel if they want. They pay taxes. They run a business. And they live a life that's quiet and that is democratic. So the Arab guy told me, why the hell would I want to give that up and go and become another Arab country that's going to be a dictatorship and make me the civilian in the Arab country khara? I said, you're right. He's not wrong. So now, can he say that publicly? No, because he'd be going against the ummah, and he can't do that publicly. And that's the issue. And I think that we're going to get past it. I think Saudi Arabia is going to make peace with Israel. Lebanon's going to make peace with Israel, and Syria, inshallah, is going to make peace with Israel. I think the next 20 years we're going to have beautiful times. But the terrorism that comes with Palestinianism needs to go away. In my personal opinion, the Palestinian ideology, the identity, is based from a place of war and death and the destruction of Israel. I think it needs to go. Call yourself Arab. You don't have to call yourself Palestinian. The only people that called it British mandated Palestine were the occupying British or the Romans. Call yourself Arab like you are, which is fine. I'm Arab. He's Arab. It doesn't matter. Call yourself Arab. Live with civil rights within Israel. I'm not looking to kick anybody out. But the ideology that is called Palestinian needs to end. Because that's an ideology of war, of a weapon. And I can prove that to your friend if you want. I can prove to you that Palestinian ideology is nothing more than a weapon. You know how?
Right.
Very easy.
He said when Gaza is free, then Jesus is gonna come to the world.
Free from who? From what? These are all sayings, bro. You're making it. These are just statements. When God, what do you think? I'm talking to you, right? What do you believe? What do you feel through this conversation?
Bro, what
Free
the
from what?
situation was bad? What?
God, when Gaza is free from what? Because in 2005, and your friend can Google Kush Katif, Israel went in, took out every single Jew that was in Gaza, dragged them out. The Jews were fighting against the military, the Israeli military, because they didn't want to leave. And Israel gave Gaza to the Palestinian people, hoping that there'll be peace. It was free in 2005. There was no blockade, there was no problems, but instead they put Hamas in power and it became a hell.
But he says after the war, when Gaza is free,
From what?
then he says why. From what?
From what? It's a reasonable question. You don't think so?
He says from the war.
Yeah, of course, it's free from the war already. I mean, now when the hard work becomes is how what are you going to do with the population? How are you going to rebuild? But let me ask you a question. What you know how you know that unfortunately the Palestinian ideology was always used as a weapon, and I'm going to prove it to you. In Syria and in Lebanon and in Jordan, if you were a Palestinian refugee in 1948 and you went to those countries, Syria, Lebanon, or Jordan, and you have children in those countries, do you know they will not give your children citizenship, even though they're both Arab? Why? They want to keep you as a Palestinian refugee. They want to keep your children as a. Why? Why can't Syria, why can't Lebanon give the Palestinian guy his citizenship, his kid citizenship, and let them be. They can't. Because the second they give them Lebanese citizenship, it means the Palestinian cause is over. So the people can live a life. No, these are weapons against the state of Israel. But when the Arab world starts relinquishing them as a weapon, you're gonna see them give them citizenship. But now they don't. They just don't. I mean, in Gaza right now, when the war stops, sure. But let me ask you another question. That was question number one. Why doesn't those countries, Arab countries, give the children of Palestinians citizenship in those Arab countries? Question number two. With You asked if the Gaza war, when the Gaza war ends. My question to you is this: every country around the world, and I was supporting it, opened up its doors when there was a war in Syria because a lot of refugees were coming. They tried to run away. In Ukraine, a bunch of people wanted to leave. Countries opened up their doors and took in refugees. In Gaza, the fight is, hey, you shouldn't let them leave. Don't let them leave. Why do you want to displace the population? Who said displace? We said let them go to Jordan, let them go to Egypt, let us finish the war, let them be refugees just like every other country. But all of a sudden, the Arab world didn't want them to leave Gaza. Why not? Why did the Syrian go as a refugee for safety, but the Gazan has to suffer in Gaza? Why? Because he's the weapon of propaganda against the state of Israel. They don't look at him as a human being, and it's disgusting.
He says the people in Gaza they don't want to leave Gaza. They want to live in
Which
Gaza.
does he know the names of the people in Gaza? The same question, right? Because, and I'm asking this question because propaganda is easy. He hasn't heard from the millions of people that live in Gaza. He's hearing what social media is saying about the situation, which is manufactured by Hamas. That's why I'm asking, who did you talk to? Because hell, the person I spoke to, and I'm going to show you the video, is dying to leave Gaza. He'd kiss my hand 10 times over if I can get him out of Gaza. Why do you think an innocent person with a family wants to live in Gaza? They will never leave the land. What are you guys, crazy? Of course, listen, I'm a dad. I have 4 children. If there's a war in New York, I'm out. I don't want to die. I don't want my kids to die. What, for the land? This is propaganda bullshit, brother. I'm gonna find the guy from Gaza, Andrew. What do you think, brother? Forget your friend. What do you think for a minute? What are your thoughts on everything? Are you at least more open-minded to the conversation than how you came in?
Yeah, but it's not right. What?
I'm not trying to convince you it's right because I can't convince you that dead children or dead women, which you have in your mind, is right. It's not right. But I'm asking you, what's the treatment? Right? To me, it's destroy this cancer that is Hamas. There was a war in Gaza in 2021. That's when I started speaking out about the situation. The entire world did the same thing. It's always every 2 to 3 years, it's the same thing. Children are dying in Gaza. Women are dying in Gaza. Israel, you need to ceasefire. Ceasefire, ceasefire, ceasefire. After Hamas starts a war. They did it in 2021 and they said, children are dying in Gaza. Stop the war, Israel. And I stood up and I said, no, Israel shouldn't stop the war. They should take out the cancer. Take out Hamas. Kill them. Get them out. And people are like, no, but there's too many collateral damage. We need to stop. Okay. The one that Hamas do between 2021 to 2023, it took 2 years to save up money, save up rockets, save up weapons, and launch another war against Israel. And so the children that were born in 2020 in 2023 were now exposed to a war. If Israel would have taken out Hamas in 2021, then in 2023 there is no Hamas. The children that were born in 2023 could possibly have a future. The treatment here is very simple. Hamas needs to be disarmed. Hamas needs to get the hell out of Gaza. UAE, Saudi Arabia and Israel need to partner up on a new education system in Gaza. They need to partner up on rebuilding Gaza. They need to partner up on security for Gaza and transforming the population from people who desire to be martyrs into people who want to be computer coders or doctors or lawyers. That's a reasonable solution to this war. The idea that, hey, we can all leave and Hamas can stay, I think is the most inhumane solution to this war because they're on the brink of the collapse. To let them grow again and launch a war in 3 years, and then me and you are having this conversation again. There's too many children dead, and I want to tell you, my friend, Hamas was almost done, but you wanted Israel to stop and give them another shot. I'm telling you, this is the only solution for this war. It's destroy Hamas and join Arab countries to change education, educate the people in Gaza, rebuild Gaza, and Israel honestly have security over Gaza. In my opinion, they should take Gaza and allow the Arabs to live there. I'm not saying kick them out, but they need to rule it.
What? I don't understand them.
Bro, what do you think? What are your feelings before your friend? What are your feelings, brother?
Bro, I don't know. It's Are you live right now?
No, just recording, not live.
Bro, I just want to say that it's not
I know. I'm with you.
it's not good that they're killing kids.
I know. That's why I want Hamas out, so there'll never be another war where kids are going to be endangered like this. Bro, tell me what you're thinking. Your friend isn't having the conversation with me. You are.
Bro, he's telling me something. Wait.
Here, can you read what this is? Where I am?
Shaukat al-Sufi.
This is Gaza, Habibi. This is in August, where they said there wasn't any aid. Look at this shit.
Bro, I don't hear you good.
This is in Gaza. This is where they
Uh-huh.
said there wasn't any aid. This is the Gaza border. This is me there. I went to
Mhm.
see with my own eyes. I had to wear this shit because otherwise I would have gotten shot. And then people told me I was going live for them. People go, "Hey, this is fake. There's no food in these boxes. They're empty boxes." So I said, "Okay, let me let me open up a box." And like a moron, middle of a war, bro, I stopped and I did an unboxing to show that look. Do you see how many thousands of pallets were sitting on the Gaza side, not moving?
Mhm.
Why? Did you hear about that? Did you know about that? if you're hearing all this new information for the first time, I don't expect you to change your mind. What I'm asking of you and your friend is to keep an open mind, to now you've seen and appreciated a new perspective, and to go and do real research. And don't believe what you're watching, but really investigate it. Go with your own eyes. Like the the research is there. It's all on your fingers. When you're watching TikTok, when you're watching Instagram, bro, of course you're
Yeah,
gonna get
but
the
bro,
wrong image.
there are some videos that they showing the kids, the people.
Of course, I'm not. Again, did I ever say that zero kids died or zero women died? And I asked you before, name me one war where children and women don't die, and you couldn't because it doesn't exist. But this is the first war that is covered on social media like National Geographic. They show you, oh my God, kid walking on rubble, a father holding her child. When else, whenever, did you see a war being covered by the media in such a way? So of course, like I'm with you. I don't like seeing those pictures either. I don't. I want to make myself clear. I don't want to see dead children in Gaza. I don't want to see dead women in Gaza. I want to see a prosperous population because that's good for Israel also. Israel right now, I want to think about it like logically. You guys seem like smart people, so think logic. Use logic, right? Israel right now is producing the top unicorn companies in all over the world. Okay, the biggest, the hottest startups, hottest startups are coming out of Israel. Okay, their business was booming before October 7th. Their technology is booming, creating medicine. They just made a peace deal with the UAE. They were about to make a peace deal with Saudi Arabia. Why does Israel want war or want to kill for 5 miles? Like, logically, why the hell would you do that to your economy, to your population, if you don't think you were forced into this war? It doesn't make logical sense for
Yeah,
Israel to be the bad person here. It's
I
not real.
I don't I don't understand it too.
Because
I asked you.
because it's not true. Because Israel is forced into a war that Hamas launched and keeps launching. They were forced to defend their people. They were forced to go and bring back or try to bring back those who were kidnapped. It's disgusting. It's sad. People shouldn't die. Nobody. Not even like I hate death. Personally, I'm frightened of death, bro. Like when I see that shit, it breaks my heart and also makes me extra scared. Like I understand, like, bro, after 120, khalas, we're all done, right? Like it's a bug out feeling. I don't like it either. I don't like seeing death either. But Israel was forced into this. Why the hell would they choose this? But why would Hamas launch a war? Easy. They're seeing a prosperous Israel. They're seeing Israel about to make a peace deal with Saudi Arabia. And do you know what would have happened if Israel made a peace deal from Saudi Arabia? Saudi Arabia would have built a pipeline for gas from Saudi Arabia through Haifa in Israel all the way to Europe. That means they would have destroyed Russia's gas market in Europe. They would have been so much more competitive, Saudi Arabia. Who's Saudi Arabia's enemy or hates Saudi Arabia?
Oh,
Iran. Iran does not want to see Saudi Arabia prosper. Saudi Arabia is a Sunni and Iran is Shiite, right? So when
yes.
they saw Saudi Arabia on the brink of making a deal with Saudi Arabia, between Israel and Saudi Arabia, making peace and helping the Saudi gas and oil market, Iran controls Hamas. Iran controls Hezbollah. Iran controls the Houthis in Yemen. Iran controls all these little militias in different Arab countries, these terrorist groups, and they use them to fight against Israel, to fight against Saudi interests as well. So it makes all the sense in the world for Hamas, who's losing, for Hamas, who's obeying Iran, for Hamas, who's desperate, seeing Israel make one peace deal after another with its Arab countries, to launch a war against Israel, to drag Israel into a dirty war. It makes sense. You think Israelis? Look, bro, one of my boys, my good friends, is a soldier. He got shot, but he's fine. Thank God he recovered. He was a soldier. You know where he was on October 7th, bro? He was in Las Vegas selling the tech company, selling the startup that he started in Israel. He was trying to do business, bro. We all had to like buy him a ticket because he was rushing back to defend his nation after October 7th. We all the friends, look, his friends, not me. I didn't get involved in this, but all of his good friends said, "Yo, we need to get you back to Israel." He wanted to go back. All the flights were canceled. You think he wanted to go to war? He wanted to get shot. He got married in all, 2 months before he got shot in his foot and stayed in the hospital. God knows how many years. This guy was running a successful business, just got married. Doesn't want war. Israel doesn't want war. Hamas wants war. Palestinian ideology wants war because it needs the destruction of the state of Israel. And that needs to end so that peace can finally be given a chance.
It's true what you said, but yeah.
All right, my brother. Yallah, I love you and keep it real, bro.
Yallah.
Allah mak.